Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Carrie. For those of you who are new here, this is Becky, and this is Kong in here. And today we're going to be talking about the MT82 transmission and talking about the lawsuit just in particular. I just wanted to give some feedback as somebody who hasn't had any problems out of our trans. Just give some feedback on them and let you know what I think is going to happen. I will link the article that I have watched in the description below, as well as another person who's had problems with his transmission. I think he's got a 1314. I can't remember off the top of my head. I think it's a 14 Mustang GT, and so I'll link his video in down below as well. Anyways, you guys, so let's go ahead and hop right into it. The Ford is under a lawsuit over the MT82 transmission, saying that they're not reliable, that they don't hold up even under stock circumstances. So personally, that hasn't been the issue for us. As I said, we've got two manual MT82 transmissions. One's in a SN197 and the other is in a S550. So Becky here is a 2015. We've had Becky since 2017. She had 7,000 miles on her when we bought her. Devin supercharged her 2 Christmases ago. After she got supercharged, we dynoed her. She makes about 780 to the crank and puts about 670, I think 676 to the wheels. So a stock GT only makes 450. So it's not double, but it's pretty close. She's pretty close to it. So the only thing we've had to do is replace the clutch in this car, which in this case was normal wear and tear. It was Devin's fault. He went to do a burnout and didn't give the car enough time to turn off traction control, so it just spun the clutch. We replaced it with a Mcloed twin disc. We also replaced the flywheel, the master cylinder, and then while he was in there, he went ahead and put a short throw Barton billet aluminum shifter in it. So as far as that was Devin's fault, wasn't Becky's fault. He tried to do a burnout, as I said, and just kind of messed things up. Becky does have around 40,000 miles on her now with no issues. 40,000 miles, 5 years, no issues. She's sitting right now. If you don't know us, we're actually about to put a 2,000 horsepower MMR motor in Becky, and unfortunately we thought about running the MT82, but unfortunately MT82, you really can't build it past 1,000 horsepower no matter what you do to it. All billet interior, all billet everything, internals, everything. It won't hold. So we're actually going to a TH400, which is an automatic, but that's the route we decided to go with Becky, because there's no manual transmission that can hold that power. So hopefully they're sending out the motor this week. So after this week, we won't have the M82 in this car anymore. However, we thought about putting it in another Mustang, so we'll keep you updated with the miles as that goes up as well. So let's jump in here to Kong. Kong is a 2014 Mustang GT 350. Kong has about 6,500 miles on him. He makes about 700 horsepower from the factory. So from the factory, he made 526 with the supercharger on it. But the guy before me did some upgrades at 4,000 miles, and now Kong makes about 700 horsepower with 613 to the wheels, which is pretty good. I think he's probably making more about the 670 mark, but he makes 613 to the wheels. I know that. I've got the dyno sheet. With that being said, I have no issues with the MT82 transmission. So before somebody says something while I'm thinking about it, the newer GT350s do not have the same transmission. They have a built transmission. This particular Shelby is one that was created as a GT Premium and then sent to Shelby and built as a GT350. From my understanding, the only thing that they've done to the trans was they put a short throw shifter on it, and then they might have changed up the clutch, but so far so good. I haven't had any problems out of it. It shifts really good. It's really smoothly. It just falls into third gear. Now I will say I have seen complaints with like not letting the transmission warm up and being kind of stiff. I always recommend letting your car warm up. I don't care if it's 100 degrees outside, you let that car get up to performance, because that'll save you in the long run to see if there's a problem before you get going down the road and the car warming up, because something can be cold and it not performing right, and you're like, oh, it's just because it's cold. You get 10 minutes away from home and that's not the issue. So let me jump back over here to Becky. It's a little easier to stand. So with that being said, I do see the problems with the MT82s. I think most of them I've seen in the 2018 and up models. Devin's uncle had a 2018. He put it in the shop 2 or 3 times for the transmission before he sold it. He was like, nope, not going to do it anymore. However, we do have some friends with the S550s. We've got one friend with a white one. I'm not sure how many miles he's had on it. I think he's had the car for about a year now. He hasn't had any issues. The gentleman that we just bought the carbon fiber, we just bought some parts off of. I kind of gave it away. We bought some carbon fiber parts off of. You'll see that video soon. He had a black S550. I think he said he had 70,000 miles on it. No issues. Hadn't had any transmission issues. He's had a couple of them with no issues. There's another guy that we know. He hasn't had any problems out of his either. So I think it's just hit or miss with them. It's 50-50. But as I said, we haven't personally had any issues, especially with ours being boosted. You would think that we would, but we have not. And as I said, we haven't done anything to them, like haven't changed anything up on them, minus Becky did get a new clutch, but that was Devin's fault. That was not the transmission, was not in the motor, was not the car. It was a user fault. So with that being said, this is how I think that's going to go. I'm kind of 60-40. 60 to they're going to do something, 40 to they're not. When you buy a manual transmission, in your owner's manual, there is the quotations proper way to drive. And it tells you when to shift and everything to optimize shifting. It's not like these cars, like some of the older cars, tell you when to shift. You shift where you feel comfortable, where your car needs it. Owner's manual tells you, I haven't read the owner's manual in a long time on this car, so I don't remember if it's for this one or the Subaru, but it's around 3,000 RPM that you're supposed to shift. Not sure, so don't hold me on that one. I'd have to go back and look. But so I think Ford's going to have a lot of lenience with that, being they can't guarantee that every person that buys one knows how to drive one. And I've seen a lot of people who will sit there and roll back on a hill. And to me, as a manual driver, I've got all manuals minus that truck over there. As a manual driver, that's a big no-no. Do not roll back on a hill. These cars have hill assist. So if I see somebody roll back in one of these, you might not know how to drive, because this one does have hill assist. Granted, it doesn't kick in every time, but so there's no way for them to guarantee that every single person that has brought theirs in knew how to drive it. Now, as far as mods, if you've done anything, they're not going to touch it. I'm sure of it. They can be like, oh, you put a cold air intake on it. That extra 10 horsepower threw off the transmission. That's your fault. That's you. Oh, you've got a tuner hooked up onto it. Just to read the codes. That's you. You're doing something you're not supposed to be doing. And that's how I feel it's going to be. What I hope they do, it's not going to be a solution for everybody, but I think it would be a good compromise to do the same thing that Kia did with their motors. Kia checked your motor. If it was fine, they extended your warranty. If it wasn't, they replaced it. So I think that's going to be the best solution for this. They replace the whole transmission. If there's issues and they determine that they're not user issues, because that's going to be a big thing, is owner error of driving. So if they get past that, I think it's going to be, let's replace it or extend your warranty. Now, for people like me and Devin, that's not going to happen. Our cars are been out of warranty. They might offer to extend them. Like Kong's is, I don't even know if Kong's is intact because they've put aftermarket parts on it. But you've got to 100,000 miles if you leave your Mustang stock. But not a lot of people do that. Me and Devin are fine examples of it. We don't leave anything stock that we own, minus, no, not even my Subaru's completely stock. It's got a couple of pieces on it. But, so, with that being said, they're going to fight over that. And that's going to be the biggest thing people are going to well, Ford's going to nitpick. And that's just how it's going to be. Granted, I do think they need to replace a lot of them, especially in the 18 and up. I think that's where the biggest ones came in with the issues. I haven't heard of a lot of people who have a 17 and 11 to 17 having a lot of issues out of the transmission. Most people, I think, with the 11 to 14 Gen 1 Coyote had problems with the Coyote. But the 15 to 17s, I don't think had quite as many problems. Sorry, I had a little brain fart. But I don't think the 15 to 17s had quite as many problems. And then the 18 and up, those just got thrown against the wall. I don't know what happened with those. I don't know what Ford changed up to have all the problems that they do. But the Gen 3 Coyote is the worst about ticking. And in my opinion, every single person I've heard have problems with the transmission, for the most part, like the majority, not every single one of them has been an 18 or newer. But I just wanted to leave some feedback that we haven't had any problems with ours. I plan on putting the Gen 2 Coyote with the MT into probably another Mustang. We're talking about getting a Fox body or some kind of older Mustang, maybe like a 60s model, and putting it into. It won't be right away. But hopefully we'll have the motor for Becky here, or at least shipped out this week. We're just waiting on MMR. Everything's been kind of delayed with everything going on in the world right now. But it's okay. We're patient. Good things come to those who wait. So that's what we're doing. But anyways, guys, if you have any questions, want to know any specific details about things, feel free to ask in the comments below. I will leave a link for everything that's done, like a mod list that's done to this car as it sits with the MT82. I will also leave one for Kong in here. And let me know if you've ever seen one of these. A lot of people have never seen a 11 to 13 GT 350. So yeah. Anyways, you guys, I hope y'all have a wonderful day. I'm curious to see if you've had any problems with yours or not. So just let us know. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. Y'all hustle harder.